hello, everybody, and welcome to Just Between Us Girls. I am your host, Lady Kim Sims. And if this is your first time joining us, we say welcome. Many have asked us or asked the question, what is Just Between Us Girls? Just Between Us Girls is a television show, it's a podcast, it's a support group, and a sisterhood all rolled up into one. We believe that every girl needs a group of girlfriends, some women, aunties, and nieces where they can talk about anything and everything in a non judgmental way. And J Bug is just that tribe. We will laugh together, learn together, and maybe sometimes even cry together. But what we will do is be honest, transparent, and respectful. So we ask that you get comfortable and get those fingers ready because we have a lot to talk about on tonight. We welcome your comments and we encourage your participation. But before we get started, let me introduce you to and say hello to my amazing co host. Good evening, ladies of J-Bug.
Good evening.
How are you ladies tonight?
Great.
Wonderful.
All
Great,
right.
great.
Evening, Miss Janice Millhouse, Miss Positivity herself. Hey, Janice.
Hi.
Good evening, Miss Smart, Sassy, and Classy, Miss Charlotte Taylor.
Hello.
Good evening, the PK Kid herself, Miss Angela Davis Burden. Hey, Angie.
Hi.
And last but certainly not least, our free thinking millennial, Miss Deanna B. Williams.
Hi.
Hey.
You'll notice we're missing one of our J-Bugs on tonight. It's our funny hype girl, Miss Mona Jackson. She'll be back with us on our next show. All right, ladies of J-Bug, let's get started. Can we talk? On tonight's episode of Just Between Us Girls, we're talking about I am not my hair. Did you know that the global beauty industry is a 532 billion, yes, I said it, $1 billion industry?
Wow.
Did you also know that the United States is leading the pack with the world's largest beauty market? According to Forbes, the measured revenue of the hair industry for 2021 is 39.5 billion. Did y'all hear that? 39.5 billion. And it's expected to grow by 28.7% by 2022.
Wow.
Is it possible that we are our hair? I only ask this question because our actions and the statistics are proving that we are. Angela?
Yes. So as women, we spend countless amounts of money and energy in making sure that our hair is looking top notch. We go through great lengths to obtain long hair or a certain hairstyle. At times, our self-esteem increases and decreases depending on how our hair is looking and feeling. While it's easy to agree that our hair can depict how we feel, it is also an extension of our personality and for some of us, our spiritual beliefs. According to a recent 3-year clinical study of almost 6,000 participants of African descent by the Boston University Sloan Epidemiology Center, the study found that almost 48% of respondents had suffered hair loss on the crown or the top of the head,
Mhm.
mostly caused by what we call traction alopecia. Experts say African American women are more prone to traction alopecia due to the type of this type of hair loss due to the way we wear our hair, from hairstyles that pull tightly at the roots of the hair. And this type of hair loss has been seen in women who frequently wear extensions, weaves, braids, cornrows, tight ponytails, and barrettes. So I guess even as kids, because my children were barrettes, we're already starting that trend. There are other types of alopecia that plague women of color as well. One being alopecia areata. That's an autoimmune disease in which the body attacks the hair follicles. The condition is characterized by spot baldness or on one or more parts of the body or the scalp. This type of hair loss is often brought on by extreme stress and does not discriminate based on age or gender. Another one is androgenic alopecia, the proper term for which is the proper term for female um, uh, pattern baldness. In women, hair loss from androgenic alopecia manifests in thinning all over the head. And it is the most common type of progressive hair loss, and it's believed to have strong genetic and hereditary links. Another one is folliculitis induced alopecia. This condition occurs when bacteria finds its way into the scalp. This causes inflammation of the hair follicles. It damages them, and it makes it difficult for hair to grow and to grow back if you lose hair. And weeds are notorious for causing this type because of the traction alopecia, and because it allows the bacteria into the follicles and the root. Another one is traumatic alopecia. And traumatic alopecia is basically a fancy term for hair breakage. This type of alopecia it affects the hair growth because the hair is damaged and it is unhealthy. Like traction alopecia, traumatic alopecia is a type of self-induced alopecia caused by hair care and styling practices. Unlike traction alopecia, this type of alopecia focuses on damage to the hair shaft rather than the hair follicle. Afro Afro textured hair is naturally more fragile, which is more surprising to me, is more fragile than other hair types, and it makes it especially susceptible to hair breakage. Practices such as dyeing hair, chemically straightening hair, and using heated styling tools such as straightening irons can lead to traumatic alopecia. Lady Kim?
Thank you, Angie. I remember when India Ari released I Am Not My Hair in 2006. And the popular phrase swept the hair care world by storm. Everywhere you turn, ladies were chanting this phrase to declare that, um, according to the song, whether it was a press and curl, a jerry curl, or a relaxer, India Ari stated that hair does not define me, nor should it consume you. She encouraged women to look inside and go beyond that. So, in short, we as women must understand that our hair should not be the sole defining or deciding factor on how we are to be perceived by others and how we even look at ourselves. So, though our hair is a part of us, it is not all of us. As India Reid greatly put it, we are the soul that lives within. And at the end of the day, it's just hair. This brings me to my first question to the J Bug ladies and our J Bug listeners. Do you agree or disagree with the statement, I am not my hair? And if so, why, ladies? Why? Do tell.
I am not
my hair. I agree wholeheartedly. Now I love my hair, and I appreciate all that's up here. I got a head full of it, but it does what it wants to do. Some days, it'll say, "Okay, Janice, that was okay." Other days, it's like, "No, this is what we doing today," and that's what we do. But I've had my hair cut this short before. When my daughter was little, she said, "Mama, a woman is gonna see you and she's gonna fall in love with you thinking you a man." So I let my hair grow back out. But I'm not my hair. We grow up with the notion of our hair is our glory. And ladies, I say whatever makes you happy. Whatever, if you got hair that you can't manage and you find a way that it can be managed, if that makes you happy, do it. Go for it. Don't let what what you have determine what you're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? So if you want a peace of mind about your hair, if that means weaving it up, weave it up. If that means cutting it off, shaving it bald, do what makes you happy. And
All
that's
right.
a positive viewpoint for today.
All right. I love it. I love it. What, J Bugs? I know you all have something from that.
Yes. I would agree that I am not, and really I'm not my hair, but I am. Uh, you know, being a child that experienced hair loss at an early age, it was very traumatic for me because I was treated differently because of that. And we would like to say I'm not my hair, but we are because society looks at us a certain way based on our outward appearance. We are not taught to look at people and embrace them for their differences and know that that makes them no less a person than the other person. So for those reasons, I say, although I shouldn't be my hair, but I am because of the way society has treated me with hair loss and the trauma it has left in my life. So, and then I guess until you experience that, you won't understand why I would say that. But yeah.
So, Angie, that's wonderful that you're sharing that.
Hmm.
Your testimony with us. Our virtual co-host Renee Tarplin said, "I lost my hair last year, had no clue why or what happened. However, I went to the doctor and found out why, and now on my journey to regrowing. And if I didn't tell you, you would never know because I am not my hair. I am fearfully and wonderfully made,
Way to
with
go.
it or without hair." I love that, Renee. Thank you for sharing that. You
Amen.
know, it's interesting because, as you get older, one of the things that I've experienced, because it's hereditary, it runs in our family, is I got hair all back here, but up here in the top is not growing as strong as it used to.
Gotcha.
And so the reason why I changed, I was one of these people who was die hard. I'm not getting a weave. I ain't doing that. I'm wearing my natural hair until I hit menopause. Okay, okay, let's keep it real. And that little short haircut I had that kept bubbling up because I need a perm every 2 days because I was sweating it out. You get to the point where you get real creative
Okay.
and you realize, you know what? It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to change the way you look. It's okay. I am not defined by my hair. But Angie said, some people that's their problem if they want to put that on me. But I myself am not defined. I do it out of convenience now,
Hmm.
rather than out of just trying to be somebody else. I just do, I mean, you know what I'm saying, trying to switch up. I do it out of convenience. I do it because I get hot like I am right now. And I like the versatility and being able to put in different styles. So
Hmm.
ladies, what else do you want to share with us?
Well, I agree with the "I am not my hair" statement, because when I was younger, my hair would not grow. I went through having a Jerry curl when I was like 9, 10 years old, and I really had, I was looking at people that had long hair. And I thought they was the bomb because I'm like, I got this little bitty hair, and not only that, I got a Jerry curl. But as I've gotten older, like Lady Kim said, I don't do it. My hair is. I want my hair to look good, but I don't do it like it wasn't out of necessity of wanting to be seen. Because especially now having daughters, a lot of times they reverberate what I tell them because
Right.
I have you know. The younger daughter, her hair is similar to what mine was when I was younger. So we go through like our struggles of growing her hair back. And then I have the oldest one, she's in high school and she's in school with, these girls who got this long hair. And I had to start making an example to them. The last time I cut my hair all the way off was maybe 5 years ago. And at this point, my hair is longer than it's ever been. But it wasn't something that I wanted to prove to myself. It was something that I wanted to show them because lots of times they're like, well, mama, how you gonna tell me this, but you doing this? And so I wanted them to understand that you have to love yourself how you are. I can remember when my oldest daughter was around about 6 or 7, and she was going to school with a mixture of Hispanics and Caucasians, and she would see them with straight hair, and she was like, "Mama, I want straight hair," and she developed a complex where I ended up putting a perm in her hair and her hair came out. So remembering that now I don't perm my hair, they don't perm theirs. They love their hair, they'll do it, whether it's natural or what have you. But I believe that it was because I had to break grounds with them, showing them that I love my hair the way that God gave it to me. My curly hair, if I gotta wear it natural, if I got to put weave it. I'm okay. I'm okay without weave. I'm okay with weave.
Hello.
Either way, I'm good. So yeah, I agree with that statement.
And Deanna, you are so right. I mean, I've grown to that now, but being a child, 9 years old, I didn't have a choice. You
Mhm.
know, and we're talking 78. The technology that we now have, we didn't have. So I'm gonna give you a visual picture. Anybody watch the Jeffersons?
Yes.
And
Mhm.
you remember his mother and the little wig she wore? I was a 9 year old girl wearing a wig like that. The
Oh
children,
Mhm.
wow.
but that was the choices, and the children treated me horrible. I mean, they called me names, they pulled it off. I was the bald headed girl. I was all of that. And um, mine didn't come from illness. It actually it was a form of trauma. It was what I dealt with when I experienced trauma at 9 years old. So what I started to do in response to my trauma, because I didn't understand it and didn't know what to do with all those feelings, I started pulling my hair out. And
Mhm.
there's a condition called, and I just want to make sure I give you the correct. It's trichotillomania is what I developed. So I started pulling my hair out from trauma, and it led to hair loss. And I'm still I'm 56 years old now, so I still experience the same thing. And it's my one demon that I fight with daily. And I have choices now. My hair will grow, and I go through times when I have my hair and I'm enjoying it, and then I'll go through something, and then I get back into that habit. But children has treated me so horribly, and I didn't have choices then. So yes, it messed with my self-esteem terribly. I today I'm wonderfully and fearfully made, but for a long time I didn't feel that way. It truly defined me because people looked at me, not just outsiders, even family. So it wasn't just outsiders. People looked at me, like something was wrong with me. I didn't belong. They made me feel like an outsider. It truly meant something to have hair. So my desire today is to, with telling people that whatever you're experiencing with hair loss, talk about it. Don't internalize it, and let people know, hey, when they say things, and people say things and they don't really know that it's an attack on your self-esteem. They think it's just a statement. But people will say things, but you need to let them know, no, you can't say that to me. You really have to let them know. So, this has been a journey for me. It truly has been. And me now sharing this with the world and you guys is even more freeing.
Yeah, Angie, that means a lot. It means a lot. And I tell you, I have such a heart for women because I've been through some things in my life. And realizing that we all have this great light within us. All we got to do is let it shine. But we also carry a certain amount of trauma that we didn't ask for, that you know what I'm saying? So, my wish for every woman, as far as I am not my hair, is whoever you are, or be so confident in your ability to be a light to the world. If it's only one person's world, be so confident that our hair doesn't distract us from letting our light shine. I mean, I just want everybody has something to add. And when we all get our different flavors in the stew, man, it's so beautiful, palatable. And I want for women, especially women, to just know their worth and know how valued and valuable they are to the grand scheme of life.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're making it through it, my sister. You say you still struggle with that, but I'm glad. Keep fighting.
Oh,
Keep
yeah,
fighting.
definitely. One thing I will say about this is, I thank God for my journey, because I walked around for, I know, 20 years thinking I was an absolute freak of nature. And I never forget, I was watching Oprah Winfrey one afternoon, and she had a group of women, well, not just women, but it was people on there, and they were talking about that very thing. And that's when I first knew there were other people that had, experienced some type of trauma that caused them to pull their hair. And it was that was freeing. And then going to therapy and getting a name for it, because I just thought it was just, I didn't know what the name was. But then the therapist told me, oh no, there's nothing wrong with you, there's an actual medical condition, that it's a disorder, it's a mental disorder that goes with it. So, but it took me a long time to know that I am not my hair. My hair does not define me, whether I'm wearing a wig, a weave, or whatever. Whether people like me because I have hair or don't have hair, that they miss out on knowing me. So I'm the prize. They miss out on knowing the prize. So because they're looking at me because of, oh, you don't have hair, or your hair is this. Oh, and I tell you, one thing that was hard for me is dating. Oh, and especially when I had to let men in and getting married and letting people into that intimate space, knowing
Mhm.
that thing about me, because I mean, just getting real. In our community, especially, men look at you a certain way based on your physical attributes.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so that was hard for me. But thank God, he placed, someone in my life that embraces me and loves me just in spite of. And I don't have to hide that. I don't have to sleep in the wig, or always, things like that. So
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I think, Lady Kim, you're muted.
Lady Kim.
Me and my technical issues this week, but I was saying, Angie, it takes a lot of courage to be able to share your.
It really does.
Can't hear you.
And it appears as though we've lost your volume again, Lady Kim. Okay, so I think she was trying
Can you hear me
to.
now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It's gone.
It's going out again. So we can go ahead and talk about our question number 2.
Okay.
With many of us growing up with the spiritual belief of a woman's hair is her glory, how do you feel about women who cut their hair?
You know something? I used to have mixed feelings about that because I cut my hair one time and somebody that knew me, it was a guy, he said, you must have went through a bad breakup or something. And I was like, is that what that means when you cut your hair off? But I think that it's whatever because when I used to cut my hair off, it used to be like, I want to change. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily because I'm like, oh, I'm so distraught. Let me go cut out my hair off. I don't know. I mean, you probably got some people that do that, but I wasn't. But I think that your hair being your glory, it's how like when somebody sees you, the first thing they see is your face and your hair. And
Mhm.
so I feel like it defines your being. We do our hair how we feel. Some of us wear the same couple of hairstyles and things like that. So it's something that adorns us.
Right.
And so I think that that's what I take away with a woman's hair being her glory because it's what adorns her. Whether you are, whether it's cut off, whether it's long, whether it's weaved, it's really up to you. But I think it just defines and establishes who we are. Some people are known for having beautiful hair, long hair, lustrous, moisturized hair. So, I think that it's all in, what the person, because some people I've heard men say, oh no, and be upset, with their wife because their wife went and got a haircut. I've seen that before. And I'm like, but what's the big deal? This her hair.
Right.
That's how she feel it.
Well, when a woman cuts her hair, usually it means that she is a risk taker. It means she's a risk.
I like that.
I mean, everybody might not like it, but hey, I'm gonna take the risk because I do. You know what I'm saying?
I think my dad loved to tell a running joke about my mother. Well, when she was alive, he would talk about it. My mother had long, beautiful hair, but he said one day he came home to a bald-headed wife because she had went and cut her hair. And he was upset. And when my mother got sick and my dad had more control over, certain things, when he took her to the hairdresser, he told the hairdresser, he forbade her not to cut her hair.
Wow.
I mean, it meant that much to him for her to have this long hair. And I'm like, and then, I have, I'm one of 6 girls. So I have 5 sisters. And all my sisters had long, beautiful hair. I was the only one that didn't. So I was like, girl, you just really did a number on me. But, I still wouldn't take nothing from my journey. Still wouldn't take nothing from my journey. But, it's just something about that hair that some people just really put a lot of emphasis on. I know, we got some men who don't care anything about hair. We got some that's like, oh, they want it to hang down your back and want it straight and wavy or whatever. I just wish we could just start to look at people and look at their hearts and not, what they're wearing or how their hair is or what's the latest purse or whatever. Just to really look at the heart of people and love them for that.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, I mean, what do you say if you got a husband and you want to cut it all off? Do you say, babe, I'm getting ready to go get my hair cut. By the way, I'm going to cut it all off. Do you invite him to, have a say on it? Or are you just going to go get it cut off?
Well, look, my late husband, I've had a lot of hair, and sometimes, like I said, it does what it wants to do. This is only the issue with me was, well, it looks a mess. So, I mean, it looks a mess. It's all over the place. So he encouraged me to cut my hair. I was resistant at first, but he was like, if you're gonna keep it long, just have it in a style. Have it in something That I was like, man, like the wind ain't blowing outside. You know what I mean? But shoot, I found that when I cut my hair, it took more for me to keep them edges, keep that back.
Yes, get them
It just
kitchens.
took as much time as anything else. So I was like, come on, I can pull it in a ponytail.
Yes.
But
Yeah. So
love me. Don't matter. Hair long, hair short, bald headed, whatever. Cross-eyed, I don't know. Pigeon-toed, I don't know. Just love me. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted in life. Love me. That's it.
And I am with you, Miss Janice.
Yes.
Yes. And with that, I'm going to ask this next question. With so many of our African American male athletes marrying women that are either Caucasian or of Latino descent, do you think men are more attracted to women with long and straight hair?
oh, most definitely. I don't know why, but yes, most definitely.
I wouldn't say it's, for the, I think for the men, for the black men, for the men of color who marry outside of their race, I think that there is some kind of complex, I don't even want to say a complex, but I think it's some kind of power that they feel they've gained by,
Very much.
I don't know. Maybe I can't verbalize it right. I don't think that it's, for me, for a black man to choose a white woman over a woman of color, like he ain't come from a black woman, like he don't have black aunties and sisters. It's, just kind of ludicrous to me. But you like what you like. I mean, you give them a chance to, if you run into a piece of candy and you happen to like that candy, maybe you want to just be with that candy all the time.
Yeah.
You, you know, and you're right. You like what you like, but why do they make a conscious decision? That's the part that I don't have a problem with you falling in love with whoever you fall in love with, black, blue, green, yellow, whatever. But why do they make a conscious decision? That's the part that just really baffles me. Why do they make a conscious
trophy?
I think that some of them are, us as black women, we have a lot of stereotypes behind us. From the angry black woman, to we want to have, we want the rich man, the gold digger, we don't want to work, we just want a man that does everything. There's such stereotypes surrounding us. And we don't ever know what type of relationship that these men have gone through. They could have been with a black woman and this black woman scorned them. They may have been too needy. People tend to run from bad experiences. And so I don't think that it's necessarily, and then another thing is, it may not have even been a relationship. It could be a mama issue. No, my mama was off the chains with my daddy, or she was off the chains with me. I don't want to be with no black woman. And so, I think that, it's not necessarily, they just so happen to be Caucasian or Latinos with long hair. I don't think that it has anything to do with because I'm going to tell you, you got lace fronts. If you want some long hair, you can get that Malaysian, Peruvian and all that stuff. You can have you some long hair. It might not be real, but I tell you about that hair, you can wash it, you can, dry it, you can wet it and wave it, whatever. So I don't think that is that. I think that it's more so of something that has been instilled in their mind, something that they could have possibly gone through at the hands of a black woman that makes them steer away from it. People shut down from what they don't want to deal with or can't handle. And so I think that it's more so about being somewhere safe. It may not necessarily be safe, but it seems safe to them, and that's what they're going to go with until they, find out otherwise.
Well, it's so funny you say about the stereotypes about, women of color, but there are many stereotypes about women of non-color. I mean, especially now, with the Karens and I'll tell you the truth. The stories I heard when I was growing up, busting the windows out the car and stuff, those are the non-color women.
Emmett Till.
I didn't hear that in our community. I think we picked up on it, but that's where I heard it first. I had never thought to go and key a man's car, or let the slash his tires and nothing like that. That was from people that didn't look like me. I heard those stories. So it's funny we give them a pass by saying we're known, or the stereotypes. I think, I used to tell my sons, and if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. And I meant that. I meant that because I just wanted them to know, how you gonna pick something over what has raised you, one that wipes your behind and all of that, and look a snotty nose, and then you're gonna tell me, I wasn't having it. And I meant that. And it wasn't that I was racist or nothing. I just feel like we have to instill pride in ourselves with our sons and our young men. Let them know we're just as much a prize as the Latino and Caucasian women.
Yes.
I truly believe, and I may be wrong, but in my opinion, this one person, this one singer, the reason why he's so unbalanced right now is because he needs a strong Black woman in his life.
Who does?
I shall not say. Walking around with masks on their faces and stuff like that. Well, your mama, if his mama was still alive, he wouldn't be doing that stuff, because she been on told him to get somewhere and sit down.
Sit down.
I truly believe that I truly believe that we bring the balance for our men. They need us, and they need to know that. And I told my sons, no, mm-mm. I know if you just naturally fall in love with that, that's one thing. But don't make that your mission, because my kids always went to interracial schools. So don't make that your mission. Don't think that she's better than your mama or your sisters or your aunties. Don't think that. We're just as much as a prize as one of them. So that was just the way I raised mine.
Absolutely.
Well, I have a sister-in-law who has blonde hair and blue eyes. And I mean, she is lovely as the day is long. Beautiful mind, body, and spirit. So, I mean, I have nothing against white women. She was not my brother's first wife, but I tell you, I'm glad he found her. Love is love.
Absolutely. So we all grew up in the African American community hearing the terms good hair and bad hair. And to this day, I still hear those terms. And that describes the different textures and lengths of our hair. So why do you think in the African American community, there is so much emphasis put on hair? Because it takes me at least 30 minutes in the morning to do hair. And you'll say I'm not my hair, but really I am my hair. But in our community, why do we put so much emphasis on hair?
Yeah, what was that movie with talked about the jigaboos and the...
Oh, you're talking about the Spike Lee movie.
Yes. So it was the jigaboos and the what?
And the wannabes.
The wannabes and the jigaboos. So a lot of that is in our community, but I believe that we've sustained those myths. You know what I'm saying? I think that we've made those things bigger than they needed to be. So I don't know.
Well, I will say my mother, her side of the family were mixed race. And she talked about a lot of her cousins being blonde-eyed and blue-eyed and blonde hair. They were able to pass. Actually, she used to tell us a story about one of her cousins who was in a car accident. And back then they had a hospital that they took non-Black people to, and then a hospital they took the Blacks to. He was taken to the one where he wasn't supposed to be taken to, because they thought he was Caucasian. And I think for her, I noticed over the years that even with her, with the grandkids that were born that had more a finer texture of hair, that they were looked upon differently than the ones that had more of a coily texture of hair. And I think it was just instilled in them. It was learned behavior because of that. Those who were able to pass, those who weren't. It was something, and like Janet said, we have continued in our community. We haven't dispelled those myths, and nor have we had those honest conversations about that. We definitely haven't done that. We just it's the pink elephant in the room. Everybody sees it, but nobody acknowledges it. But it is definitely in our community. We have not sat down, and and I guess like with the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm all for equal treatment. But I think until we start getting in our own communities and addressing our own issues, we
Yeah.
cannot expect for somebody else to value us when we don't even value ourselves. Not even just about, the killing thing, but even the self-esteem, the self-worth, looking, loving one another, embracing one another, regardless of your hair texture, the hue of your skin, being as one, until we start getting in our own communities and having those conversations and addressing that and start dispelling that amongst ourselves. I think we're going to continue to perpetuate the same behavior for years to come.
Yep. And you know something, I think that it's a old mentality that we're still fighting hard to beat and overcome. We have our things that we do well, and so we are more drawn to the hair, because that's something that even in my opinion, that's something that we do well, like dancing. I think that our hair, we can do almost anything with it. We have some of the most innovative styles. You look at Madam C.J. Walker, who created the hair care products, but in it catered to us. And so that's something that in our community we own. You look at with the locks and things like that. You got other people of other races who copy that. And so we have things that when a people don't have much that they identify with, we have to identify by something, and that's what our identity lies. And so I can think of I think that a lot of that, you got nappy hair, you got good hair, or what have you. A lot of that too came from households. I was called nappy hair, short hair, bald head, and this is stuff that gets in your spirit. So you want to be the opposite of whatever you perceive or people perceive you to be. And so no matter no matter what class you belong to, upper class, middle class, or lower class, if you can just do your hair, most times you feel good about yourself. If you can't do anything else, if you can just get and do your hair, it makes you feel better. And so I think that that's something that we're still trying to, is something that we've established identity in, as being able to do well. And then with the names and the things like that, a lot of that stuff has been said in our household. Where that came from, not sure. Who even came up with nappy head or kinky hair, or buckshots in the back, I don't know. But those are sometimes things that we continue to even speak or even say. Sometimes we don't even think that we have good hair. Somebody else don't tell us we got good hair. Even now, somebody say, "Girl, you got good hair, it just curls up," and I'm like, "No, I don't." But that's something that I heard adversely when I was coming up. I had nappy hair, I didn't have good hair. So that's definitely something that we're trying to still work through, identity wise.
Well, when I was in hair school, all hair is good hair. I know that's the one thing that we have to uh, again teach. All hair is good hair. There's no such thing as good hair and bad hair. All hair is good hair. We just have different textures of hair. Different lengths, different textures, but it's still good. First of all, everything God created, what He created was good
and very good.
Take that bad out of the equation altogether when we're speaking about our hair, our skin tone, our whatever. Everything is good. We just got to start looking at it as being good and start teaching that. And again, like I said, having them conversations and sitting down and telling your kids, when they experienced these things at school or out in the public, no, baby, You are beautiful. Everything about you is good. Ain't nothing bad. And don't let nobody ever tell you anything other than that. I wish somebody had done that to me when I was a little girl, but they didn't. And I don't blame them. My parents only gave me what they were able to give me. So, but I try to now give that to my kids and my grandkids and any other kids I come in contact with. You are beautiful. You are wonderfully made. You are special, regardless of whatever. Don't ever let anybody tell you anything other than that.
You know what I do
Amen.
on purpose? You know what I do on purpose? I purposely tell a woman what I see as beauty in her. Oh, I love your hair. Your hair is so beautiful. Oh my God. I make a point because I don't know what she's had to face in this day. I don't know what she went through prior to seeing me, but I want to encourage the next woman to go and be great. So
Amen.
I saw an afro the other day, like to blow my mind. I said, now those are my hair goals right there.
Yeah.
Amen.
But I just
And I'm glad
let
that
the woman know how beautiful she is.
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm glad Deanna brought up the topic of identity. So we've all seen the pictures of other ethnicities wearing what's considered typical ethnic styles, like the Kardashians sporting braided styles at times.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel when you see other cultures embracing our cultural hairstyles?
Copying somebody is the best form of flattery.
There you go. There you have it.
Amen.
I'm good with it. I'm like, just let it be known where you got it from. Okay. I need y'all to understand that this ain't something that y'all just created. This y'all got this from
Right.
from us. I'm fine with it. The funniest thing is, I don't know if any of you have ever been on a cruise, but when you get over into these on the islands, like
Getting
all the
hair
Caucasian people want to get their hair braided, and everybody
Yeah.
wants to cornrows. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on, what? But I'm like, I'm fine with it. Go ahead, just acknowledge where it came from. Give us our credit we do.
Yeah.
along.
But I think we have to still go back to instilling that in our communities, where to be so prideful of that. I don't think we have enough pride in what we consider our thing, the hairstyles or the things that we consider ours. I don't think we have that pride. I don't think we like, I think we have to get back to that place of saying, hey, look at us, we some bad, mother suckers. When God created a black woman, he was just showing out. I mean, when he created women, period, but with a black woman, he was showing out. I mean, look at all we've endured, from slavery, from poverty to now, in this time with raising kids in this climate of all the social media and stuff. We are, when they say black don't crack, that they're talking about a black woman, because we don't crack. We endure. That's why one of my favorite scriptures is that the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to the one who endures to the end.
That's right.
We endure to the end. We may be downtrodden sometimes, but we endure. We may not look our best, but we endure. Our hair may not be as best as it could be, or as styled as it could be, but we endure. And that's something that we need to start telling ourselves and our other women in our community. Look at all the strength we have and the pride we should have, and stop tearing each other down. I just truly believe if we start to get back to our core beliefs and values, it'll make a difference in our communities.
And
Absolutely.
you know something? My friend and I were just talking about that very thing yesterday. Angie, we are so strong. We have overcome everything that we have endured. And I just want for our community just to get back to that
Yes.
strength, and understand that if we didn't make a staple and a positive staple on this society, do you think that they would try to, shatter our character or try to destroy everything that
Give
attached
us
to
a
us
vote.
if we didn't make a positive impact? No. Everybody, like Glenda Jameson said, hair, lips, and booty. We can't have nothing. They
And
want it. They want the color. They want we. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And that's something when they started getting the lip fillers. I was like,
Yep.
All these years I was called, your lips so big and whatever and all this, and then y'all want them.
And the sad part about it is, the other ethnicities steal this from us, and then they recognize them, like they recognize J-Lo as having the booty. They recognize the Kardashians for other things, and like you said, those are the things that were ours.
The first big booty girl in the Black community was Pam Grier, one of the big booty girls. I mean, but you're right.
She sported a good old afro.
Got J-Lo has gotten the identity as having the big booty, but that started with us.
But that was ours.
That was ours.
Yes. So, how many of us remember as a kid tying a sweater or towel around your head, pretending it was our hair? Do you think even as a kid, we had been conditioned to feel that long hair was better? I do. I think society thinks that everyone has to have long hair. That's why we have to have extensions. That's why we have to have weave, because they think that long hair is the better hair. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I'm gonna tell you, when I went to see the Black Panther, them girls with them heads, I was like, oh, them some fierce women.
Yeah.
It was just something about them, not just the hairstyles, but they were just so fierce. And I walked out of that theater like, ooh, I am woman. I'm a black woman. I'm a bad motherfucker.
That's right.
That's what we got to start back looking at the beauty of us, regardless of what the hair looks like, or whether it's long, short, kinky, straight, wavy, silky, black, whatever. We got to start back looking at the beauty and embracing our beauty and talking about our beauty and instilling it and telling women, you're beautiful, no matter what. I'm like Janice. And to the point where women now think I'm gay, some of them, because I tell them, when I see women, especially like at church and stuff, I tell them you're so beautiful today. They start thinking I want them. I'm like, girl, I want you. Ain't nothing you got that I want. I just want to uplift somebody, because like Janet said, we don't know what somebody's going through, but I think if you could tell them something nice, sometimes it just makes them feel better.
Absolutely. And I'm with Glenda Jameson. She says because all the commercials was white women back in the day, and they all had long, stringy hair. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Deanna. I didn't mean to cut you off.
And I think the best thing that God did for me is, going through while I was going through my divorce and separation and everything, I could not afford to do a whole lot to my hair. And I went through a phase, I was like, oh, I can't get my hair done. I can't get my nails done. I can't do nothing. But I thank God because He allowed me to fall in love with myself just how I was. And that's something that I had gotten away from. He was like, learn how to be a base and a bound. If you can, you good. If you can't, you still good. So now people are like, oh my God, like when I take this out, I'm gonna go natural for a couple of weeks and just do me some natural styles because I'm okay. I can go left or go right. It doesn't, that's the best thing that God did was just say, look, this is who I created you to be. Like one of you all said, everything that God created was good and very good. And that means your hair, that means your nails, paint them, go to the Dollar Tree and get you, a $1 fingernail polish and just fall in love with who you are and what you have, because that's how God begins to give you more when He knows that you love yourself, how He created you, that you love yourself with all your goodness, whether your hair is long, short, do what you can with what you got. Be appreciative of that.
That's right.
That's enough.
Amen. And this is going to be our last question of the night. With so many women now wearing wigs or units, as they are now called, do you feel that as a woman, we have bought into the industry's definition of what beauty looks like when it comes to our hair?
I think some have, because, I got a 15-year-old granddaughter that wants to wear wigs. And I'm like, girl, why? You're 15. but that's all she sees. That's the standard is to wear wigs and units or closures, protective hairstyles. I'm like, girl, you too young. You look like a little old woman. But I think a lot of women we just
Oh, I think we lost Miss Angela's volume a little bit, but
that's
okay, she's back
okay.
now.
Yeah, I think we bought into that. That's how we should look, and that's what we should wear. And but instead of just looking at the versatility of being able to do these things, not as a staple of who we are or how we should look. I don't want to look like everybody. I never have. I never wanted to look like everybody. I wanted to have hair like everybody, but I didn't want to look like them. I still wanted to be different. And I think, that's something we need to start telling our girls. It's okay to be different. It's okay to rock your natural hair. It's okay to not wear a wig. It's okay not to wear lashes looking like windshield wipers. It's okay not to have stiletto nails. That's not the standard of being beautiful. But
Right.
my little 15-year-old granddaughter, that's what she thinks, and it bothers me. But the more I say, you're just old fashioned.
Hey y'all, but one more thing. It's also okay to be a black woman who owns a black hair care business, because the business is booming. We may as well take a part in it. So, hey,
And I think we have bit the apple on that because, no, we're living in such a cookie cutter society to where nobody embraces individuality. I mean, I don't want to look like the next person, and I'm surely not getting ready to go buy no lace front unit even if I could. I don't want no spend no. I can go do something else with them couple $100. Go in the hair store, give me the human hair like we did in the olden days, and I can curl it and do what I want to do with that. I don't necessarily need to go and because I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I see people that actually take care of their hair. Wash them units and stuff. And I'm sorry, when I take my hair out, it's going in the trash, and then I'm going to do something else. So I'm not even gonna say that I'm getting ready to wash no unit. I'm just not. I don't have time like that. And so I think that we have bit the apple because on the back end, we're making the others that run this industry actually because we don't have control of this industry. You
Mm,
know, I look at so many hair places that have popped up that were black owned and they don't last that long because we've become accustomed to going into the Asian beauty supply stores, them treating us all kinds of crazy, and we still
mm,
gonna, we're gonna tell them off and still come back next week, get our hair gel and our combs and all this stuff instead of going and supporting those that are in our community, and I understand that it's this thing, like, well, I don't want to go around there because, she got an attitude. Okay, well, we have to be helpers to one another. Have a conversation with She. She might don't know she got a bad attitude. I mean, she may.
Right.
I'm just saying, you know, we just got to do that. What by any means necessary, we have to help each other and not trade out on each other to go and make the others rich. We got to keep some of this wealth inside of our community. And that's just how I feel about it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks even to our virtual co-host as well. Well, that's it for us and our show for tonight. But before we go, Deanna, tell us a little bit about our sponsor for tonight's show.
Thanks, Charlotte. Lady Kim, hold up our t-shirt for tonight. This Just Between Us Girls signature tee is a classic unisex jersey short sleeve tee that fits like a well-loved favorite. Soft cotton and quality print make users fall in love with it over and over again. These J-Bug tees have ribbed knit collars to bolster shaping. The shoulders have taping for better fit over time, and dual side seams hold the garment shape for longer. For a limited time, you can give this J-Bug signature tee as a gift and purchase one for yourself too for the low introductory price of $15 per tee. All are available. Order your Just Between Us Girls signature tee at www.comeevolvewithme.com/shop. Please allow up to 4 weeks for production and shipping. Are you interested in being a guest on the show or advertising your product or service? Email us at contact@comeevolvewithme.com. Back to you, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Deanna, and we hope you enjoyed our show tonight, as I have. We have great news to still share with everyone. We are still live on both Facebook and YouTube. Yes, we are. So check us out on our updated Just Between Us Girls YouTube channel by clicking on the links that I have placed in the comments. And also by going to our website at www.comeevolvewithme.com/JBUG and clicking on the YouTube icon at the bottom of the page. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of future shows. So help us get the word out by sharing this episode on what? Facebook and YouTube. Janice?
We've come to the segment in the show where we give all of our J-Bug listeners a thought of the day. Today's thought of the day is courtesy of Maya Angelou. A woman in harmony with her spirit is like a river flowing. She goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself. Charlotte?
Thank you. So what an amazing show on tonight. We'd like to thank you, our J-Bug listeners, for joining in on the conversation tonight. We will skip next week, Sunday, August the 8th, but you best believe it, we will be back on the following Sunday, August the 15th at what? 7:30 p.m. For what? Great conversation just between us girls. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.